Good day, Mom. This is John Kevin De Los Santos, and today we'll be discussing about peripheral devices and some of its functions. So before we proceed to our proper discussion, let's start to discuss what peripheral device means. So peripheral device is used to put information into or get information out of the computer, and it is generally defined as an auxiliary device that connects to and works in some ways as a computer. So basically, we'll be discussing about mouse, keyboards, printers, speakers, flash drives, and many others. There are three types of peripheral devices, namely input devices, output devices, and storage devices. Input devices are used to interact with or send data to the computer and used to provide data and control signals to an information processing system, such as a computer or other information appliance. So means the user must give data and information onto the system for it to work. There are types of input devices, namely keyboards, pointing devices, imaging input devices, audio input devices. So this four has its own characteristics on how it deals on the computer. Let's start about keyboard. Keyboard is a human interface which is represented as a layout buttons. Each button or key can be used to either input a linguistic character to a computer or to call upon a particular function of the computer. They act as the main text entry interface of most users. So example is basically a keyboard. So next is a pointing device. Pointing devices can be classified into direct and indirect. So direct means the input space coincides with the display space. Example, pointing is done in the space where visual feedback or the pointer appears. So example natin dito is yung mga touchscreens. Otherwise, it is called an indirect input devices. Ito ay karaniwang example natin dito is yung mouse. So basically, ang mga pointing devices ay ito yung tinatawag nating cursor. So, ito yung nagpapagalaw sa ating computers. Next is the imaging input devices. So, these are used to digitize images or video from the outside world into the computer. So, the information can be stored in a multitude of formats depending on the user's requirements. So, example is webcam, digital camcorder. Lastly is the audio input devices. This uses to capture sound. In some cases, an audio device can be used as an input device in order to capture sound. Since basically, parang yung mga features nila is magkapareho lamang. So examples are microphones or digital musical instrument. The next type of peripheral devices is what we call the output devices. Output devices is any piece of computer hardware equipment used to communicate the results of data processing carried out by an information processing system, such as the computer. So it converts the electronically generated information into human-readable form. So this time, the computer reads the data to the user in any ways it needed, such as displays or in audio. So there are two types of output devices. This is what we call display devices and audio output devices. First one is a display device. It's an output device that visually conveys text, graphics, and video information. So it is called a soft copy because the information exists electronically and is displayed for a temporary period of time. So examples are monitors, projectors, and printers. So on the next one is the audio output devices. So example lamang nito is ang speakers and marami pa pong iba. So the last type of peripheral devices is what we call the storage devices. So storage devices used to store an information from the computer for later use. Examples are flash drives, hard disk drives. So ito yung mga ginagamit natin para yung mga importante natin mga files ay ma-store natin at hindi mawala sa atin. So kaya tinawag itong storage devices. So that's it for my discussion. Thank you and keep safe, guys.